What's up, Doc?
My bad, y'all. I was checking on my messages.
um, yeah, so I was just I was just over in Dips Live over on TikTok, and so a lot's been happening over there on Dips Live, and I just want to know if you guys are up to speed on what's been going on. I don't know if if Dave fills you guys in. Um, but there's a guy over there, and this has been all happening like really, really, really fast. It's all been unfolding. Well, there's a guy over there named Jonathan Morandi. Are you guys familiar with him?
Johnathan, is that the guy that was supposedly over there?
So yeah, Jonathan Morandi was hired by Will Duffy to go on to the trip to Antarctica, and he's been coming over to Dips Live like for the past couple days now. And he's the one who's in charge of making the documentary that Will Duffy is funding. And yesterday a lot went down. So and I'm really skeptical about him. I'm like not 100 fully percent on board with him because he's saying he wants to represent us 100% and that he's a full-on flat earther. Yesterday, Dave and Aloha got on there and we've been drilling him questions. We've been trying to like get some preliminary questions out of him to see if he's really like just an inside job, like compromised opposition, you know. So it's like really fishy because he's making this documentary, right? That's going to be representing flat earthers, you know, but he went on the trip and he was chilling with all of the globies and all that stuff while they were in Antarctica. And so now he's like hanging out with all of us in our TikTok lives. And like so yesterday Dave was talking to him, was drilling him with questions, and he was saying, you know, like Dave wants Dave wants to put like flat earth proofs like in this documentary. And I was like, that should be the first thing, you know, because like if this guy is gonna be representing us, like he basically should be listening to like Dave and everything that we have to say. So he was like, yeah, um, when we make this documentary, we're gonna actually have a bunch of us get on like a Zoom call or whatever and like, you know, basically approve of what he's doing. He said he was okay with that. But like the day before that, it was just kind of fishy because like, you know, like he's a filmmaker, you know, like he says he's an independent filmmaker and that he works in Hollywood. And I don't know like 100% all the details about his background and his history, but yeah, it's just really fishy, man. And I think Flat Earth Dave would be able to explain a little bit more, a little bit better. I just want to bring all the information over here to everybody, to you, Sacred, and you, Proud. I'm like, dude, this all happened yesterday, like out of nowhere, because like he just popped into the live, and like we all just slowly started realizing, like, oh shit, this is the guy that is the filmmaker who's making the documentary on that film. And we're all just kind of like trying to put it together. Everybody over there on the TikTok scene, we're all talking about it, and we're all like, you know, do you believe him? Do you really think he's a legitimate, genuine flat earther? You know, so on and so forth. And yeah, I think we're like the first day we were talking to him, it was kind of like everybody was kind of like drilling him, you know, to see like what his position is. And then like I think things are kind of softening up and easing up a little bit more to where we're kind of getting a game plan together because he's been coming over there and just popping into the live streams and just listening. And you know, we're like, who the hell is this guy? And yeah, it took me a minute, bro. It took me a minute to figure out like, oh, this is Jonathan Morandi, the same guy that Will Duffy was fluffing up and talking about in his podcast. And yeah, I just wanted you guys to know about that. That he's on the scene and like he's in our live streams on TikTok, and he's interested. One other thing he said is he's interested in Joe Hanvey's model, and he wants to put like everything that we are talking about, like especially Joe Hanvey's model. He wants to put that in the documentary. And it's just kind of weird because Will Duffy is going to be funding this documentary that he's making for flat earthers that are basically going to ridicule Will Duffy. You know what I'm saying? So um, I don't know. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. I didn't know if you guys were aware of that.
I was in a live with him, and I think they did a. He was in Clubhouse. I think that's the first time I heard him talk. Apparently, he said that he wanted to go, and then someone dropped out, so they allowed him to go. And he says he's a flat earther, independent filmmaker, producer. And he said he wanted to document the entire trip.
Yes. Yes. He basically is going to be. See, I don't know. Like that's what his initial intention was. Like was to just basically make the documentary like about the trip, but like now that we're all hearing about it, we basically want to turn it into like flat earth proof, and basically turn that documentary into a visual representing us saying that this trip was bullshit, that looking at the movement of the sky doesn't determine the shape of the floor, that those are two independent things.
Now, what about him makes you suspicious?
The thing that makes me suspicious about him, along with many others over there on the TikTok side, is man, it's just Dave asked him a couple questions. I asked him a couple questions. We were like, why are like did this trip change your mind? He's been hesitant on a couple answers. Um, Dave called him a shill. But I think he was just joking. Like we're asking him like preliminary questions. Like
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I didn't call him a shill until he refused to let Aloha Keith be get final edit. That's when I called him a shill.
But yeah, I knew you were joking, Dave. Yeah, but I'm just saying like what I'm saying is like we're all on that same page. We're like we're kind of on board with him, but we're kind of not. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if you're the same.
I'll give you my 2 cents. What's up, guys? Morning.
What up, Dave?
Morning, Dave.
So I'm super skeptical. I didn't even know who Johnathan was really until yesterday on that live. Like I wasn't paying attention to even the guy's name. Other than Will Duffy brings this filmmaker on at the last minute that claims to be a flat earther, and then I didn't check his Facebook, but somebody had said that they checked to see if he was really a flat earther, and for the last couple of years he's been posting flat earth memes. Now, to me, that's how you set someone up to give them some history. Kind of like, I think Will Duffy has been doing sermons in an empty church for 3 years to give himself credibility as a preacher. But I don't have any proof of that other than his live streams. The camera never moves. You never hear the audience. He never responds, he's never like mentions anybody or comments. You never hear a peep from the audience. It seems very, very um, fake to me. But there are in the last year some of his sermons where there are a dozen, 2 dozen people in his church. To me, that seems like a total setup for a guy to, hey, I'm a preacher. Look, I've been preaching for the last 3 years, and blah 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 blah. So that's just my theory. Look, watch his sermons; they're really weird. He says stuff like deception and lying is not bad. Just a lot of weird stuff. But the fact that Will Duffy is paying for this guy should make all of us questionable on this guy. But he had, I don't want to say all, but all of his answers were pretty good to me, and he seemed pretty genuine to me. So again, I'm a guy that even in this world of deception, will trust people based on my intuition. And right now, my intuition is like very skeptical, but like, okay, he's saying all the right things. Like I asked him how he got into flat Earth. When he got into flat Earth, what proof was it? he had very good answers to me. He seemed like he knew what he's talking about. He's not a high level flat earther, but he knew lots of the basic stuff. I forget exactly what his answers were, but I remember that they were good answers. Flight routes, the pictures of Earth.
Yeah, same.
NASA's. Yeah, he had all the right answers. And then Aloha was like, Will Duffy's paying you. That seems really weird. Well, if Will Duffy was legitimate, I'm saying if, I'm not making a claim either way, and he wanted to make a documentary, and this guy's a filmmaker, he would need to pay him. He's not paying. He said he's just paying him for costs and a little bit for his time. That I have no problem with him getting paid for his work. But I don't think Will Duffy's legitimate. So my suspicions are high. So I said to him, I said, do you agree that the motions of the lights in the sky, which we can't even confirm what they are, I was pointing out helium and hydrogen in a space vacuum with that creates gravity that holds on to Pluto, that can't hold on to our moon, that burns 100 billion tons a day or a minute or whatever it is. Like, do you believe, do you think that, do you see that that's scientifically impossible and doesn't determine the shape of the ground? He goes, yeah, I can agree. I agree with that. And I said, in this film, I said, if we gave you, and I used the number 5, I said 5 of our best flat earth proofs, would you put them in the film? And he said, yes. So I suggested that we get a team of us together and, some people that are on here, Austin and whatever, and we come up with the top 10 proofs and we give them graphics and video and everything to go with it and say, here you go, put them in the movie. Right. And he says that he absolutely will. And then at that point, I said, "Will you give Keith final edits on the movie?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Okay, you're a shill, right?" And that was a joke, clearly.
I caught it, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. But you agree that everything he said was pretty damn good. It was pretty damn good. But again, if he is a shill, his answers would, he's good. He's good, but he didn't have any bad answers, which was in me is like a sign that hey, maybe he is legitimate. I said, is Will going to pay you before the movie's done? I go, what if during this process you look at all of our proofs and everything, and you're like, there is 0% chance the Earth is a globe. Are you going to make a movie that reflects that? And he said that he will put all of the evidence in the movie and lay it out as it goes. And I said, will you also point out that we don't agree that that this is an experiment or final, and that the heavens above are non-physical and non-immeasurable according to the Bible and according to our observations? And he said, yeah. He said, I'll put all that in there. And I said, would you be willing to give us a preview of the movie before before it's finally color corrected and everything, and so we can give you our opinion if you made a mistake, if you misrepresented us? And he said yes, he'd like to do that in person though, not online. And I'm like, all right. Now I know that, and he said that Jeran and Austin get final edit. So to me, in my book, as long as Austin's there, and saying, hey, you misrepresented us here. This doesn't make sense. We don't agree with that. As long as Austin's there, that's good enough for me. I don't need to be there. I definitely don't want to be there.
He told me he didn't sign the contract.
Well, but he said, I don't know about the contract or not. Johnathan said that Austin and Jeran are going to get to see the movie and give them final. I don't know if it's final edit. I guess the only thing they can do is say, I take that part out because it has me in it and I don't agree. So they agreed to that. But I asked him, could we see the whole movie? And that way, in case you misrepresented us, in case you made a mistake, we can tell you about it. Whether you change it or not is up to you. But would you be willing to do that? And he said unhesitatingly, is that a word? He said yes. So I found that interesting. People say a lot of things. Let's see what happens. And he also agreed that, Will Duffy is super globe side, a little weird. He also agreed that it's kind of weird for a preacher to be hanging out with satanic assholes. He said it's a
Yeah.
little weird. And so it's psychedelic talking, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he had all of the right answers. He didn't say anything incorrect. He sounded like a guy that was looking for truth. Aloha said, asked him to watch the two movies that Vika made, which is The Mechanical Realm and Behind the Curve. Is it Behind the Curve, or am I dyslexic? The one with the military guys
I'm
proving
pretty
flat
sure
Earth.
that's the one.
Yeah. What's the Netflix one?
I thought it was Behind the Curve.
Yeah, that's the Netflix one. No, the one that he made, the military one.
That one I can't off the top of my head.
It's space. I could pull it up. It's not Behind the Curve, but
Behind the Curve?
no, it's Flatten the Curve. Yeah, Flatten the Curve. So he agreed. He said we recommended that he watch that. It'll give him good content, good information. And he says okay. And he says and it'll help you as a flat earther. And I asked him several times, are you, gun to your head, flat or globe? And he's like, yeah, I'm flat. He goes, but I still have questions, and that's okay. I still have questions. I still have questions that I want to learn. I'm 0% globe right now, geocentric or not, 0. All I know is that the skies are immeasurable. I also, he said that the observation of the 24-hour sun kind of destroys the AE map, and I say no, it doesn't. I say the AE map, viewed from the lands where we live, we can see the apparent sun in the sky, and it is where it is. You can look at my app. Wherever the sun is, whenever it's over land, if you know somebody that's below them, call them, ask them what time it is and where the sun is, and their answer will be the sun is over me and it's around noon. So we've already proven not what the sun is, not if it's physical or not. We've already proven that from viewing the sun at any 12 noon position anywhere around the world, it's exactly where the AE map shows it to be. So again, we all made, most of us, I think most of us here, all assumed without any observations that there is no circling sun in Antarctica. And we all did that based on kind of like a physical sun in the sky. But over the last few years, we've all learned that the sun that we see is probably not physical. No solid claims here. And that the optics of the sky and the outer lands can be explained in different ways. Even Will Duffy admits that with a dome sky, there is lots of options for how we see the sun. I'm a big fan of the black sun in the center projecting up, and then everything reflecting outwards for the outer lands. But I don't know. Again,
Exactly.
if you watch Marty Leeds' sermon from 2 Sundays ago, or a week, that's his two back on his thing. If you go to my DITRH channel, I put a clip. It says clip on Gnostic Academy. I encourage people to watch that. Marty explains it better than anyone has yet. And then I encourage you to watch his entire sermon. He swears a lot, so it's awesome. I asked him to take out the F word so I can put it on TikTok because it'll be under 3 minutes. But it's a 3-hour movie, and he a 3-hour sermon, and he does swear a lot. So if you have a problem with swearing, then not for you. But he really explains how the sky is non-physical, and measuring the sky being non-physical is a futile task.
You said that's on your Dearth channel?
It's on DITRH. Yeah, I think it's the last video there. You'll see a big clip. It says Gnostic Academy. I made I think it's an 8-minute clip. But after you watch that, you'll be like, let me watch the whole thing. And I encourage people to watch his entire sermon because he really does a good job. He's funny, and it makes some great points. I want to bring up one thing, and I talked about it on Dips Live. What would the model, our model versus their model?
Joe Hammy's model.
Yeah, no. What the flat Earth model versus when Globers say, "Where's your model?"
Oh,
and then
right.
Yeah. So Marty points out that the globe doesn't have a model. What is a model? A model is a smaller version of something that actually works. So when they say they have a model, they show us a desktop globe. Well, you look at that globe. Can you pour a gallon of water on it? No. Right? Can you show it orbiting the sun and chasing the sun like they claim it does? No, not really. Can you stick a cruise ship and people to the bottom of it? No. Can you contain air on the outside of it? No. So it's not a model. It's a friggin' trinket is what it is. But then he compared the flat earth model to a bowl of Kentucky fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy and stuff. He goes, and it has a plastic dome lid on it, right? He said, can I pour the gravy in there and will it be contained and lie flat?
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Can I drop a cruise ship in there? Will it float on the gravy? Yes, it will. Can I pump some air underneath that domed lid that they give you? Will it be contained? Yes. Right? Is it stationary? Yes. Right? So a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken is a better model of the Earth than the globe has.
Agreed.
Isn't that? I mean, that's funny because it's true. Right? Next time you find yourself laughing hard at something, ask yourself why you're laughing, and the answer is because it's true. Right? That's what's funny.
Yeah, if you ever look at like when you go to like a high school or a college and you see like their solar system model, they have to have those wires connected to all of the little planets
They
orbiting
have no
around the
model.
sun.
They have no
That's what I'm
model. A
saying.
bowl of Kentucky Fried Chicken with gravy in there and the lid on top is a far more accurate model of the Earth than the globe.
Exactly. And I wanted to let everybody else know. I don't know if you were in Dips Live when Jonathan mentioned this, Dave, but he mentioned how he came across Dips Live. Did you get a chance to hear that or
No, I did
no?
not hear that. What did he say?
So yeah, so about 10 days ago, on December 19th, I was in Dips Live with Nathan and with Caleb and some of the other guys, okay? And so what happened is that was the day that McToon and Dave McKeegan came back from their trip and they were doing a live stream and they were talking to their followers or whatever. And we had all come across it and everyone wanted, like, I was watching it on YouTube, and Caleb wanted to go over there and talk to McToon and to get on that and to ask him questions about the trip. He wanted to ask him specifically about some of the shadows, shadow conspiracy before we all cleared that up. So when Caleb went over there, little did we realize is that Johnathan Morandi was over there chilling with McToon and Dave McKeegan drinking coffee while I was streaming that live stream of McToon.
Physically over there with McToon back here in the States?
Yeah, like I'm looking at the recorded video. I got it screen recorded. It was the moment when Caleb was talking to McToon and Dave McKeegan, and there was a guy in the background. We didn't know that was Jonathan. We didn't know that there was even a filmmaker. That was
Yeah.
before I found out. So
So,
I'm looking at the screen recording now,
yeah.
and that's how he came across Dips Live, is because at that time, while I was screen recording them on their YouTube stream, apparently Johnathan Morandi said that Dips Live had popped up while I was streaming them.
Yeah.
And so
That's, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Let me just throw in there. That is super suspect. However, if you're an independent filmmaker, you want to hang with all of the people. So let's see if he hangs with Austin and Jeran also. Let's see where else he hangs, right? I will say anyone that hangs with McToon is super suspect, right? There's a lot of evidence that McToon and Duffy have known each other for multiple years before the final experiment. I don't have any proof of it, but I've heard people talk about it. I'm letting them do the research. It's also interesting that nobody knows McToon's name, but now we do. It's interesting who he appears to be. I'm letting other people figure that out. I mean, it's clear to all of us that McToon lies about everything, probably also lies about being a Christian, because all the other Globers, I think, unless I'm wrong, are atheists, except McToon, but they all tout the same things. There's no such thing as spraying of the skies. We went to the moon landing. The jibby jab is good for you. They all tout the same line. So it's kind of a tell in my book. Johnathan, when I asked him about the spraying of the skies, he says it's awful, but there was none in Antarctica. That was interesting. That's also another proof that they were really there. There was no spraying in the sky. Where else are they going to film that? Which is interesting. And he also agrees that jibby jab is 100% absolute nonsense. He also agrees that we didn't go to the moon. So he has all the right answers. Doesn't mean that he's telling the truth, but I haven't seen any red flags other than hanging with McToon. but I'm not going to give that a red flag. I'll give it a yellow flag, because if he is truly an independent filmmaker, he wants to get all sides. So the question will be, will he hold his word? Will he put our flat earth proofs in there? Will he represent the truth properly? Will he show us the video before it goes to make sure that it's not making mistakes or misrepresenting us? He's agreed to all of those things. So let's see what happens. I want nothing to do with Will Duffy. Discussing this is pissing me off even more, but I'd love to do it with you guys. I don't want to be the one to pick the top 5. I definitely do not. I'll give you my opinion, and then I would like a panel, maybe Sacred and Psychedelic and Aloha and Dip and
Yeah, I was gonna make a recommendation on that, Dave. I was gonna see maybe if we do, because I know yesterday you said that you wanted to do that over another stream podcast. Like, what if we did that podcast and then asked everybody from here, from Twitter and TikTok, to join, and we do like a poll
hey,
or like a vote?
Psychedelic.
Hey, hey guys, Dave,
Wait,
I just asked him
yeah.
for tomorrow for the podcast. I just wrote him an hour ago.
Who? Johnathan?
Johnathan, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And listen, all I ask, Vika, is that you be courteous to him. Keith came in a little hot, Keith came in a little hot, and Keith admitted that he did come in hot, but he also mellowed out a little bit. And let's give Johnathan a chance, but remain our friggin' shields up 100% and be super skeptical, but listen to his answers, and let's wait for him to make a mistake or lie or whatever. And then, we recorded Dip's live, so we have proof of what he agreed to. He said that Will, well, one thing that someone on the live pointed out, that Will is the producer who funded it, so Will has final edit. Will, if it comes out to be 100% an awesome flat Earth proof movie, Will could choose not to air it. That won't be Johnathan's fault. If Johnathan makes a movie and Will refuses to release it, that'll be fun. That'll be super fun, right? But we don't know if any of that's going to happen, And I even hold the possibility that Johnathan makes a super awesome movie, completely destroying the globe, and Will airs it because Will is an honest guy. I even hold that possibility. Okay? I hold that possibility as a possibility. It ain't high on my book, but I am willing to leave it there as a possibility.
Oh yeah, no worries. One thing is for sure, that it would be a bit more organized and structured and more relaxed than how people were almost grilling him on TikTok. But TikTok is like this. He has to understand, whoever goes to TikTok has to understand. People jump in, jump out. You find every kind of thing. So yeah, we're gonna try to do it different. Yeah,
I give him an A+ on his live yesterday with us. He did all of the right things. He was awesome, and even when he was interrupted, he would stop talking and listen to the answer and answer it. He didn't gish gallop away from anything. Everything he did was A+. Right?
Yeah, even the day before that, Dave, like, it was like yesterday was a little bit nicer, but the day before that, like, I don't know if you were there, but some of the other, like, couple of the girls were asking, like, the girl who had background in film herself,
Yep.
she was drilling them, and Dr. Flat on there, I'm not sure if you know him.
I know Dr. Flat.
At him.
I do not like Dr. Flat. I mean, his logic is so poor. Him coming after me, calling me a Freemason. I'm okay. Investigate the crap out of me, but when you find nothing, let everyone know, please. Okay?
Right.
He's a bit of a. I'm not gonna say it, but
yeah, his demeanor, he was coming at him pretty heavy, and I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah, everyone, listen. So far, Johnathan has given all of the right answers. I'm not saying you should trust him yet. I'm saying he's given all the right answers. Allow him to fulfill his promises. Allow him to do the right thing. Is this a well-organized psyop and he's part of it? I couldn't tell you. I wasn't there. But let's, we have this right now. So Vika, maybe this is the official, let's get our 10 proofs together, do it on your stream.
Oh yeah, we can expand and try
Okay.
to unpack that and get the best ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm a little busy for the next week and stuff. I'll be listening and stuff. I'll be popping in whenever I can. But I task you with getting the top 10 list together. You're the man. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Vika is now psychedelic. Vika is now leading the gathering of these proofs, and then maybe next Friday on this show we can go over the proofs with everyone and make sure everybody agrees that we have our top 10 best proofs. And if it's 12, great. If it's 15, great. Let's not overwhelm them. Let's give them. We know that he can't put in 50 flat Earth proofs in the movie, so let's give him 10 or 12 or whatever the number is, and say, hey, use any of these you want. Or if we want to only give them 5 and say use all of these, that we can do that too. But I would do it from a point of let's educate Johnathan and see how well he keeps to his word about being fair and not misrepresenting us. Because if he doesn't misrepresent us, that'll be the first time a movie produced by a Glober did not misrepresent us.
Oh yeah, the main reason, brother, I jumped on was definitely to say hello to Sacred and all the team here, but one was that because you guys were not even getting the time. You guys were not getting the right name of my documentary. The reason I made it
Sorry,
Flatten the Curve.
I was praying that you weren't listening because I couldn't think of the name.
I said it right.
So I called it Flatten the Curve because of the hit piece behind the curve.
That's why I
Yes.
couldn't remember it. I have dyslexia so bad it's actually called lystexia. But
so if Johnathan just doesn't follow the line, so you guys can imagine what would be my next documentary called. So just putting it out there.
Vika, and this is great. And make sure you're recording the live, so you'll have all the footage, all the questions with Johnathan on there. It'll make for an awesome documentary if they put out a hit piece. If they put out a hit piece, that gives us so much fuel to put out an awesome anti-hit piece on it. And again, it'll be a win for Flat Earth no matter what happens. It's going to be a win for Flat Earth. And anyone that wants to find both of Vika's films on my YouTube, on my website, flatearthdave.com, go to the crash course, and both of his films are in there near the top of the list. It's Flatten the Curve and The Mechanical Realm. I'm pretty sure most people here have seen both of them. But if you haven't seen both of them, or if you're missing one of them, you need to see it because they are top level Flat Earth proofs.
I don't know if I knew that was you that did the flattening curve.
Yeah.
What's up?
Oh yeah.
Flatten the Curve is woke. There's people say, what's the best Flat Earth proof to give to somebody? It all depends on the person. And so if I have somebody that's very scientifically based, or somebody that was in the military and they're like, I've been on a ship and I saw the curve. I'm like, please watch Flatten the Curve and get back to me. And everyone that watches it gets back to me and goes, holy crap, Earth is flat. It's awesome. So there you go. Hey, and Vika, re-upload both of those on your channel because then they goes to new people that never saw it before. I'm telling you.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, everybody re-upload. If you have multiple channels, re-upload on other channels. I over Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, I've uploaded 700 videos. Okay, and I scheduled them all on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve. And if you checked your YouTube feed over the last week and went and said search by new, you couldn't get past my stuff. So I've uploaded 700 videos. I figured best time to, when people are home with family and just cruising the YouTube feeds and searching Flat Earth, what better time to do what the Globies do? They throw up nonsense while we throw up real sense, common sense.
Oh yeah, it's been translated into maybe 5 to 6 different languages, especially Flatten the Curve. I think you can find it even in Hebrew. So that's
awesome.
Great.
You know what, Vika? Is it all in one video or are there separate videos for each?
No, it's all over. I have in my channel. Yeah. You have on your channel. You have Mark Sargent. You have so many different people on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and different subtitles in different countries. It's all over web pages. So yeah, it's all over.
I want to include it in on my app. There's playlists in different languages. I want to make sure it gets into those playlists. So if you could send me links to all the different languages, I'll make sure it's on those language playlists.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, Vika, I did just follow your Telegram, and I seen that you've got the links for the YouTube for your documentaries on there. If you could find a way to actually post the file onto Telegram, then
All
I
right.
would be able to.
Listen, guys,
I'd be able to.
the Flatten the Curve, you can find a Google Drive on YouTube on the same documentary. It's a pinned comment. You can find a Google Drive. So, and recently I made a Google Drive for Mechanical Ram 2. If anybody can just download it. You can even find on Nathan Thompson's USB stick, right? In many
Awesome.
different ways.
Yeah, awesome. And so everybody upload that to your Telegram, upload that to X, rather than just put the links, because they seem to get a lot more traction, and especially on Telegram, anybody can click download and then they can put it on their channel. It just makes it easier. You got to make it easy for people. So again, if everyone takes their old videos, the best ones, their favorite other people's videos, and just uploads them crazy, that's a good thing. My DITRH channel, I think it has 500 plus videos on it, all of them under 5 minutes each. I was thinking of, I should put them on a Google Drive and just send links to everybody so people can just upload those onto their channel. And more, it doesn't matter if it's on other channels. People only like looking at new stuff. People only want to see what was posted today for some reason. They don't want to go back and see all the awesome content in the past. They're curious what's going on today. So that's a good idea. I'm going to upload everything to Google Drive and then share that everywhere.
Hey, that's a good idea. That's just to cap off this conversation with, what's his name? Johnathan?
Johnathan.
I think he was in here listening earlier too.
Yeah. That's super suspect, by the way.
Johnathan Moran, here on X2.
I did tell him about it when I spoke to him on TikTok.
Yeah, it's super suspect, the fact that he's here, and it's also super suspect if he's not here. So either way, it's suspect.
Either way, relativity suspect. So like, let's say he's not who he is. Worst case scenario, what should we be critical of?
Well, I mean, we should.
I don't think he's in here, but he should grab a mic.
If he comes on here, listen to it. I grill him politely and let's hear his answers. Ask him anything. Like, be real investigators. Let the hive mind drill him, and if he's lying, it'll show. But so far, I have not seen him say anything, and I only had one interaction with him, which was yesterday, but it was quite extensive. He gave all the right answers, which is super suspect.
He knew too much. He must be fake.
Well, it's just like with Tyler Hansen grilling me. You're a Freemason. You're holding up the Mason sign, and you're this and that. And I had an answer for everything. And he goes, "See, you have an answer for everything. That's suspect." It's kind of funny.
He's a full flat earther that got hired by the globe earthers to produce a film, hanging out with the globe earthers. Maybe we'll hang out with the flat earthers.
Maybe. Well, who knows?
Yeah, he did say he wanted to go check out Joe Hanvey.
He did say that, and I pointed out when he said that the Gleason's map doesn't work. I said, but Joe Hanvey's model is pretty good. I go, do you know that Joe Hanvey's model uses the Gleason's map? He's like, oh, I didn't know that. So again, it's interesting.
Yeah, there's still a lot that and that's why he said he's been hanging out in the TikTok lives lately, is because he said that there's still a lot that he has to learn, because he seems genuine in his approach, but like I said, there's still a lot of things that we need to educate him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest red flag is that he's been funded by Will Duffy, right?
Right.
So the end product could always be something totally else, right? Or there might be two products, right?
But no, there may be. Who knows? But let's see if he keeps his word. If he is authentic and he is intelligent, which he seems to be, he will be a full. He already says he's a flat earther, and the questions I asked him, he had the right answers. But the more he investigates, the deeper it's going to go. Some people say he's on the fence, but he says he's a flat earther. Well, being a flat earther and having questions, that's okay. But all of us here, we're already beyond that. There's 0% chance of globe for everybody here. So if he's smart, if he's authentic, he will be 0% globe before that movie's done. Let's see what kind of movie he makes. Let's see what happens. Right? This Will Duffy did not put this together. When I say he did not, I don't think he actually put this together. But this entire TFE thing is an operation to destroy flat Earth. It's not going to work because you can't put darkness on the light, right? And we are the light, the truth. And let's see what he does. Again, in the past, you look at past performance. We've always been misrepresented. To expect anything different is a little bit insane. So we have our guards up high. But everything they've tried to do in the past to misrepresent flat Earth has blown up in their face. To think that it's not going to do that again is a little insane. So let's make sure if they misrepresent us that it blows up in their face and bigger this time. So the flat Earth is growing faster and faster, and it does. The truth will set us free. So there you go.
Right now the situation is very similar to 2020 with the Jabby thing, right? There are people who are buying it totally, then people are not buying it totally, and the people are attacking the ones who are questioning. It's the same situation that looks like with the FE community with this whole TFE thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder how he's going to do it. I wonder if he's going to document his own experience and narrate.
He's trying to be objective, which is good. Listen, you have to be objective. So he wants to portray both sides, and if he does that accurately, everyone that watches the film will become a flat earther because the globe is ridiculous. The globe is silly. I said, will you point out in the film that the globe model has helium and hydrogen condensing in a vacuum, which is scientifically impossible, creating a sun that can hold on to Pluto, hold on to the Earth, but ignore our moon. I go, will you point that out? Then, because the globe is ridiculous, the globe is silly. I said, will you point out in the film that the globe model has helium and hydrogen condensing in a vacuum, which is scientifically impossible, creating a sun that can hold on to Pluto, hold on to the Earth, but ignore our moon. I go, will you point that out? And he agreed that is ridiculous. He didn't agree to put it in the movie, but he agreed that model is unprovable and scientifically impossible. So how far will he go? What if Will stops funding him? That's a win for flat Earth. What if Will doesn't let him put stuff in the movie that he wants to put in the movie? That's a win for flat Earth, right? What if he makes the movie accurately? That's a win for flat Earth. I can't think of any scenario where it's not a win for flat Earth, especially since he's being so free, coming on our lives, going to go on Vika's show, and he's going to be asked all the hard questions, and we're going to listen to all of his answers. And he has made us some promises, which are awesome if he keeps them.
Yeah, I agree. And Proud said this earlier. We gotta let everything unfold. Like every single day, something new is popping up. That's important. So like paying attention and staying engaged to what comes out every single day, I think is real important. And like I said this yesterday on the TikTok side, is that Duffy's going to be releasing those 15 experiments. I think either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I can guess what they are. The moon circling, the sun circling. I don't know. What do you think? What could be the most damaging? I can't think of any that would be damaging to flat Earth.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're all sky observations.
Yeah, well, Johnathan was careful about telling us what they were because I guess it's a secret and Will wants to release it like he does everything suspenseful. And I can respect that. He listened. The guy said, "Hey, I got these 15 experiments. I'm going to release them on this day." He doesn't want to spill the beans. I have zero problem with that. And so when is Will releasing those?
15 experiments. I think either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I can guess what they are. The moon.
Yeah, I agree. And Proud said this earlier. We gotta let everything unfold. Like every single day, something new is popping up. That's important. So like paying attention and staying engaged to what comes out every single day, I think is real important. And like I said this yesterday on the TikTok side, is that Duffy's going to be releasing those 15 experiments, I think either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I can guess what they are. The moon circling, the sun circling. I don't know. What do you think? What could be the most damaging? I can't think of any that would be damaging to flat Earth.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they're all sky observations.
Yeah. Well, Johnathan was careful about telling us what they were because I guess it's a secret, and Will wants to release it like he does everything, suspenseful. And I could respect that. He listened. The guy said, "Hey, I got these 15 experiments. I'm going to release them on this day." He doesn't want to spill the beans. I have zero problem with that. And so when is Will releasing those?
If I'm not mistaken, today or tomorrow.
Right. So
I have to double check.
So does anyone here have any hesitation, any fear that he's going to release something useful to the globe?
No.
Yeah, zero. I could care less what he releases. But I am, everything he's released so far is nonsense. Why would you expect anything else?
He hasn't touched, and we all talked about this on TikTok side, and probably in his Globe documentary, he's probably not even going to touch the curve of the Earth.
Well, we'll see. We can't assume that. Maybe he has touched the curve of the Earth, because when we brought it up to him, he goes, "Oh, that could be explained away with refraction." Right, so he's definitely going to have the refraction in there, in my opinion. So he thinks that every flat Earth proof that we have is explainable away. Gravity, refraction, whatever. So
Gravity.
Gravity
Right.
is so cool. You know what's cool about gravity? Helium and hydrogen collapse upon themselves in space vacuum and create the sun, and the sun can hold on to Pluto, right? Send its gravity all the way out to Pluto. But the sun's gravity doesn't affect our moon, which is magnitudes closer, because the Earth's gravity negates the sun's gravity and makes it non-active on our moon. So the Earth's gravity holds on to our moon. Meanwhile, the sun's gravity holds on to Pluto, right? It's the dumbest crap ever. You can't figure it out because it's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. Like, the problem is most people hear what I just said and they're like, I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. I mean, why, when the moon comes around the Earth towards the sun, does the sun just not rip it away or speed it up? And then when it goes around the Earth, going away from the sun, how come the sun's gravity doesn't slow it down? I mean, at least that should happen. Well, the sun's gravity is neutralized by the Earth's gravity because the Earth is so much closer to the moon.
Yeah, isn't that
Ridiculous.
part of the gravitational three-body problem?
I mean, that's yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, the three-body problem that is a friggin' problem. But just let's talk about the gravity problem. I mean, how does fucking gravity? How does the sun hold on to all the planets but ignore all the moons? I mean, in that theory, you could say that, well, the sun shouldn't affect Earth because Jupiter is close enough to Earth where the Earth should orbit Jupiter. I mean, it's friggin' the R word.
Yeah, they say like they pull on the body in the moon system.
Yeah. I think there's a planetary alignment coming up on January 20th or February. I don't know, where all the planets are going to be in a straight line. Well, if the gravitational model was real, we're all dead.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye, baby. The alignment's coming. They're all just going to crunch into
nice
one.
knowing you guys.
All of the planets in the solar system are going to line up. The gravity is going to pull them all together, and it's going to turn into a giant star, or we're going to get eaten by the sun. Right? That's what should happen. It's like a whole bunch of magnetic balls on a pool table, and then you put them all in a line. They're all just going to go into one big clump. That's what should happen. You don't understand orbital motion and momentum, and it's like I don't know. I get speechless when I talk about the ridiculousness of the globe non-model. They don't have a model. They don't have a model that can model what they claim it to be. We do. We have a model. A bowl of Kentucky Fried Chicken with gravy. That's our model. Put the plastic lid on it. It contains air. It holds liquid. Boats can float on it, and it's not moving. Show me your model, globe.
Told you they don't want to do no demonstrations.
Yeah. Our demonstration, I think it costs $19.99, right? Go get it. You can buy it. It's a franchise across the country. You can show it to your family, right? By the way, I don't recommend eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. They probably haven't eaten it in 30 years, but I thank them for their flat Earth model.
Oh yeah, that is also one of the reasons I've been saying from a very long time that it's important to have the luminaries in the model. Just a map, a drawn of a cartographic map is it's not a model. Like it's like drawing on a huge piece of land, some continent, and calling it a model. It doesn't make sense. The model should include the luminaries. Why is the reason these people always go to the sky? Because there is where nobody can prove anything for them, right? Dark matter, dark energy, black hole, whatever. So all the luminaries in our geocentric realm is more of, as you mentioned too, it's a metaphysical phenomena with sound, energy, frequency, electromagnetics, the gases, right? It's really important for us to understand what a model should include. That is the reason I made the mechanical ramp, right? Because it's including all the luminaries and the positions in real time. An analog device. Whatever the measurements and calculation they do of the luminaries came from these analog devices turned into digital information.
Did I lose everybody?
I'm here.
Okay. Just some peace and quiet there for a moment.
We could dropping bombs on them. Bro,
Yeah.
grab co-host, bro. Oh, I'm glitching. But I'll be right back.
May we have a moment of silence before the planetary alignment?
Yeah, we're all gonna die. Who said it? Oh, it was Taboo Conspiracy in one of his great presentations. At the end, he goes, and the final proof that we don't live on a ball is because if we lived on a ball, we'd all be dead. Which is true. There'd be no air. We'd all be crushed because of gravity. We'd fly off into space, whatever. You can't live on a ball. An uncontained air pressure ball in a space vacuum.
Yeah, living on a ball just feels unsafe just even thinking about that.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. The problem is the world has been dumbed down enough to believe it. It's amazing. Amazing.
Nothing works with it.
Nothing.
But the 24-hour sun solves all the problems.
Yeah, even Will Duffy admitted that in a dome sky, there's many options for how the sun works. He admits it. So again, we have all of this, and he's a friggin' pastor hanging out with atheists. Doesn't make any sense.
Well, he's okay with lying and deceit. So.
Yeah, that video, if anyone hasn't seen that, on my Flat Earth Clock App channel, it's one of the last videos. Big picture Will Duffy on it, and he basically said in a sermon that there's nothing wrong with lying and deceit.
Oh yeah, we asked. We want that to be in Morandi's documentary.
Oh, I did actually put that in there. And he said he was unaware of it, and I said I would send it to him.
That should be at the very beginning of the documentary as well. And,
oh my God, the opening scene before the credits,
and then the very last scene as well. Open and close with it.
Oh, yeah, at least he was honest about it.
Yeah. At least Vic will put that in his video.
Like open up with that clip of Duffy talking about lying and deception, and then the scene right after that, get the 10 or the 5 flat Earth proofs.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this goes. I mean, we all here can, on that trip, in person, people that are nasty online are nice. So everyone's hanging out, breaking bread together. I get it. But again, deception runs deep, and you have to know how to play the enemy. McToon, Duffy told McToon to cut the nonsense. McToon was being mean, and they pointed out that Duffy told him to cut it out. Does that make Duffy a good guy, or does that make Duffy a great player? Okay, in my opinion, Duffy is a great player in a massive scheme.
Well, let's look at it from Duffy's position. What makes this? What gives him the benefit? How does he benefit from using a flat earther to produce a film on Antarctica?
Money, brother. It's in the end, it's gonna be money and fame. My opinion. Go ahead, Dave.
That's a good opinion. No, that's I'm trying to think of it. Maybe so. Let's look at all the options. Johnathan is completely controlled, lying to us all, and he's going to make an amazing hit piece, and then have to hide for the rest of his life. That's one option. The other option is that Duffy is semi-sincere, just wants a real documentary made, and he's going to make money off of it, no matter what it is. Right? Let's say he makes a video literally accurate to all of the stuff that we talk about. Guess what? That movie's going to make some money, and Duffy's the producer. So that's a win for Duffy and a win for Flat Earth, right? Every scenario is a win for Flat Earth, by the way. Some of them are going to be a win for Duffy. The other option is, I don't know what the other option is. So it's either he thinks that or maybe Duffy completely believes that the Earth is a globe, which is hard to believe. And he thinks that this guy's pretty good. He's coming from the flat Earth side, but after he sees the 24-hour sun, he's going to flip to be a Globie. Well, it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen. So maybe Duffy made a calculated mistake by hiring him. So there are options out there, but all of them are wins for Flat Earth.
Yeah, and everybody else who's involved, like money making is already started, right? The views are high, there is traffic, everybody's speaking about, there's a lot of engagement. Globe is not dead again, right? Many factors.
And people have to remember, everyone's calling Jeran and Austin shills. They're paid. They take payment. I was the guy that was supposed to go on the trip. I turned it down because I don't want anything to do with this nonsense, right? I was the guy that was supposed to go. So what do you? Oh, Dave Weiss canceled, so now we're going to pay off 2 other guys. Like that makes no sense. And then people are putting out. I encourage people to look at the shadows, look at everything, but people are jumping to conclusions. For example, Flat Earth Banjo put out a piece yesterday showing that the shadow from the solar panel or whatever it was going in the wrong direction. He took the clip from a 360 video, which is worse than a fisheye camera, right? It's showing shit in all different directions. And so he put out that meme, 100% proof, this is it. The shadow's going the wrong way. The final experiment busted, destroyed. No, you took it from a 360 video. Nothing is pointing in the right direction if you're looking at it on a regular screen. So again, people are, flat earthers are making mistakes, and we need to just put our heads together. Before you put out a meme, like, hey, if we find some damning evidence, we're like, oh fuck yeah, right? Run it by somebody and say, hey, is this right in your opinion, right? Keith sent me that one from Banjo yesterday thinking that it was good. I said, hey, that looks like it's from a 360 video. And he goes, I don't know about that. And so we went to the video, we spun it around, and we can move the shadow from left side to right side just by moving the video. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And I said, now the question is, are you going to tell Banjo? Because if you do, you're going to be a shill. And
what is it, Dave, that you showing what?
So have you ever looked at and manipulated a 360 video? So they did a time lapse of the sun going for 24 hours, but it's filmed with a 360 camera, so you can put your finger on the screen and look around, look behind the camera. But when you do that, the things on the ground get distorted. Okay, and so I looked at the shadow that he was looking at, and then I moved the camera, and the shadow literally changed directions in the photo. And that's what he used, which is a mistake. It's an honest mistake, but it's a mistake.
Dave, Eddie actually posted a video last night, like 12 hours ago, on that same topic, and he deleted it. It's not there anymore on his TikTok.
Good. All right. So good for him that he deleted it. It's okay if you find a mistake, take it down.
Yeah.
Right. But the best thing is not to put it up, because McKeegan is taking all of this stuff and is going to say he's going to make his top 10 reel of how dumb flat earthers are, right? And he's going to expose all of our mistakes. So let's not make any more, right? I can't claim that Will Duffy is 100% a Satanist. It is my belief, okay? But it's my belief. I have free will. I'm allowed to do that, right? I believe that this was a long planned setup for many years. This was planned, right? Some people say, oh, that's crazy. But then in the next sentence, they say, oh, well, it's been a scam since Eric DeBay put out his AE map that hide us from the principle, the geocentrism, and all of the webcam footage. They cut out 8 hours to set us up. So for the last 15 years or so, they've been cutting out the 24-hour footage on the webcams to set us up for the final experiment. That's crazy.
That
right?
sounds crazy, but it is interesting the angle that Eric Dubé's 200 proofs dropped when the principal dropped. I didn't know that.
You know what? There's lots of things that have synchronicity, and maybe the principal came out because they knew Eric Dubé was going to drop the friggin' map, because they saw that about to come out. So they I mean, you can make arguments both ways. The question is, which one is true?
Well,
right?
there was evidence that Sungenis was raising money for like 2 years, I feel like, or probably longer than that, trying to get that thing off. So, like, I think the track record, I don't know
it's just interesting how Sungenis refuses to look at curvature. He won't look at curvature issues, right? So like you could be a geocentrist, cool, makes a lot more sense than a heliocentric thing. But again, we have the problem we're floating in space, right? Geocentric has all the problems that the globe has, and no curvature, which is another problem that the globe has. So the fact that he's unwilling to look at that is more suspect than Eric Dubay living in Langley, getting a vaccine payout of $100,000 and dividing the community. It's more suspect than that. Okay, I'm not saying Eric Dubay is not suspect, but Eric Dubay, if he's controlled opposition, he's responsible for lots of us being here. So that's pretty shitty controlled opposition. Hey, let's take this very small community of flat earthers, expand it to thousands of times bigger, and then we'll control it. No, that's a bad plan.
Well, that would align with setting up all the 24-hour sun or the lack thereof of footage from these cameras. If there's like this huge conspiracy being set up, they would put someone like Dubay in as a plant.
It's possible, but let's not point
I'm not saying
this person's the
part of it. If it was that big, that would have to be something like that.
But guess what? It's a win for flat Earth. Eric Dubay woke up a lot of people. Okay, so everything they do fails. Maybe the people that control this world, that are trying to hide the God and trying to hide the truth of our world, are fucking morons. Maybe they're just that. Maybe they're low intellect people or maybe they're not even people. Who the hell knows? But the thing is, the truth is the light, right? And the light overcomes darkness. The truth is the light, right? So we flat earthers, we use science, we critically look at things. We should put our heads together, but instead they've divided us in incredible ways. Man, it's crazy how much they divided us. I'm also pretty convinced that they're using frequencies on us like they do in wars to make people crazy and make people fight. I think a lot of that's going on. Check my Facebook page from yesterday, my personal Facebook page. The amount of spraying in the sky was fucking horrifying.
Yeah, I'm with
yesterday.
you on that, Dave, and I think that's connected with the jibby jabby.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on, and I played in a presentation I did on my thoughts on the final experiment. The guy from Raytheon that says in Antarctica there's directed energy weapons that are beyond our imagination. And that was in 2008, I think. Okay. So we've got 15 plus years since that, beyond our imagination. All right. I hear what he's saying. I hear. And 15 years, think what happens with the computer chips in 15 years. Who knows what they've done with that? Beyond our imagination. I'm not sure of what happened in Antarctica, what those guys actually saw. I think the truth will come out, but whether it was real as it felt to be, or whether it was 100% fake as it possibly could be, it doesn't matter. The sky is non-physical. It doesn't reflect the shape of the earth. It is interesting, right? And what happens out where nobody is supposed to be is part of the creation mystery that we may never know.
Oh yeah, and the clip I played about that laser plasma technology, right? And with the mirrors. So was curious. I was also curious why Jeran didn't play that.
I don't know what Jeran's doing these days. I haven't talked to him in months. He just texts me, and I can't read all of the text that he says, because especially after they say stop texting me, and then he sends me 50 more multi-paragraph texts. I just don't.
Y'all gotta talk it out, Dave.
I would love to. I'd love to, but he only wants to text it out. I'm not willing to do that. I've been saying for months, stop texting me, call me. Now I could, like Jeran showed his call records, I could show my text records where I said, stop texting me like a 14-year-old girl. Let's talk. And he refuses. So I'm okay. Jeran can be Jeran. Jeran is just telling the truth. He gave them the truth on Duffy's video. That's his opinion. It's okay. Let him do his thing, and I'll just do my thing. It would be great if we could put our heads together like the Globers did. I think we should have a fucking power group. I think Eric DeBay could run the group. Whoever. Jeran could run the group. Doesn't matter. Let's all put our heads together and think about these things. But we're unable to do that for the last 12 years.
Right. We're gonna have like difference of opinions.
Absolutely. I don't agree with everything that anybody says. But again, we suck. We all suck because we're not putting our heads together. Hey, this Flat Earth Fridays, this is putting your heads together. This is good. I like it. Right?
That's what we do over here. Yeah.
Yeah. That it's good. It's bringing all things together and it's talking it out, public forum. Awesome. It's unfortunate that people make conclusions based on their opinions, right? And have different levels of understanding of what's going on. I please everybody go to my YouTube channel DITRH, watch the clip video. That'll make you want to watch the whole 3-hour video. You can listen it to double X speed. It's a great video, and it will help you unify our answer. When they go, the final experiment is crush flat Earth, then you'll have an easy answer, an easy way to explain the sky is non-physical, it's immeasurable. What are you talking about? Show me curvature. There you go. If everyone said that in every sentence when someone mentions TFE, it's over. But we're so divided with throwing out so many different things, trying to explain how the sun can work in the sky. We don't need to. We don't need to. It would be interesting to research more into it and to try to figure it out. But to say that we live on a ball because you saw the sun in the sky is stupid.
Well, I don't think we need to determine curvature. Motion is not really sure. Like it's some things do seem to align more with stationary by looking at the sky. But we should be able to try to get everything figured out.
Yep.
Like, no matter what.
Hey guys, I gotta jump. Anyone have a final question or anything
Anybody got anything for Dave?
Well, I just wanted to say that one of the things that I got out of this whole thing, Dave, and Sacred, is that we don't have a South Pole, we have a South Ring.
Yep, we talked about that last week. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, so that was kind of exciting for me, honestly. And the other thing I got out of this whole thing is that, I think whatever layer or whatever that these luminaries are being projected onto, or I don't even know if they're being projected, but for lack of a better theory, I'm just saying that whatever layer or dome-like thing that these luminaries, or especially the sun, is being projected onto. Now, that to me sounds like it's probably like half of a globe shape, like a hemisphere shape. And so, this is the reason why our observation of the sky, the luminaries in the sky, fits so well with the globe model, is because the sky above us itself, it's whatever, it's like a force field or some kind of a gaseous dome, or I don't know what it is, but that is probably shaped like a perfect half sphere, and that's why all these luminaries behave this way.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah, the toroidal field. The luminaries revolve around the toroidal field, but we live on the flat dielectric inertial plane.
Let me throw in one thing, and again from Marty's video that please everybody watch it. Marty says, even if we come up with a model, like let's look at Joe Hamby's model. Let's say it explains everything that they observed, from the squishing of the sun to the circling of the sun. Let's say it explains it. It's still just a theory, right? So the sky being a dome, as psychedelic is suggesting, and everything, it's still just a theory, and that's okay because it's immeasurable. It's immeasurable. It's not anything that we can measure until we can get up there and throw a tape measure on it. It's just a theory.
And
Yep.
I think the word geocentric is being hijacked. The first thing is we have to understand the meaning of the word geocentric. There is nothing in the word geocentric that claims that the Earth is a ball or it's spinning. The reason every luminaries move around the Earth and it's geocentric is because the electromagnetic energies of the Earth is stronger than the electromagnetic energies of the luminaries. That's why they move around the center of the Earth. That's the real meaning of geocentric.
I like it.
Like it.
Hey, well, we appreciate you, Dave. I want to keep you held up. If
I
you're still going by the time you come back, pull back up.
Yeah, I will, man. Thanks. I'll catch you guys. I'll try to keep listening for a little bit. But.
Yeah. Well, Dave, thank you for continuing to try and unite all of us, and I think that this space is a good space to try and do something like that.
It certainly is, but my efforts have gone crazy against me. I mean, the people are changing the reviews on the app, going, the app is good. Excuse me. The app is good, but the owner of the app supports the final experiment and the people, the shills that were there, and blah blah blah. And so they're literally changing it to 1-star reviews. These are flat earthers, okay? They're doing crazy shit because, listen, I don't agree with what I've heard Jeran say. I don't agree with him attacking me for half an hour in his live stream. I didn't even listen to the whole thing, right? But I will say he's not lying. Okay, that has made me the #1 shill out there, right? Go watch Banjo shit. Okay, I am 100% an agent. Go watch King Nico. I am an agent because I say that they're not lying. Now, I don't know what happened in Antarctica. I don't know if it was real or fake, but I do know that they were not in a studio and they're not lying, right? We're all on the same team. The fucking earth is flat and they're deceiving us somehow with a real observation, with a observation that only happens in a certain cycle at a certain time, with a faked observation. Whatever it is, they are deceiving us, right? Trying to make us think that the earth is a globe with an observation of the non-physical sky, right? And so that makes me the #1 shill. So what I can ask anybody here, if you have my app, if you don't have it, please get it. But if you haven't left a review, go throw up a 5-star review. You don't even have to write it. Just write something. And because the Globers want this going down from a top-rated app to an app that's kicked out of the App Store. McToon's still going crazy. Your app's leaking data. Yes, I had a data leak, just like Facebook did, just like Bank of America did, just like Citibank did, just like every other massive company. The only difference is all of those companies gave out social security numbers, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, personal information. The only thing my app gave out was whatever you were sharing with the other users, right? Because you can log into my app without identifying yourself by putting in a fake name, by putting in everything. That's what it leaked. Well, I've spent many thousands of dollars, okay, but not more than 10, upgrading the security. It's 100% fixed. It's 100% secure. So everybody relax. McToon is doing everything he can to take it down because it is waking up lots of people. So if you can go leave a review, just to counter these Globers, that would be great. And now counter the flat earthers that are putting bad reviews up. It's disheartening, but guess what? It ain't gonna stop me.
Yeah, well, Dave, as long as you are on the side of truth, you might have a little hiccup here, but we have no choice at this point but to keep, putting one foot in front of the other. And I think that this difficult period will pass, and I think people will wake up to some common sense. So we'll do everything we can to support you, Dave. So just hang in there.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, and you guys are doing everything you can to support me. This show, it gives me information and it gives us all a platform, so it's all good. And if everyone just did one thing a day, just one thing to support Flat Earth, whether it's share a video, whether it's to leave a comment on a review on my app, whether it's to donate to somebody, that would be amazing. if everyone did one thing a day, it'd be amazing. But instead, they've got us fighting against each other. We're doing their job with all of this shill calling and nonsense, and we have to stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, Sacred, we can use your space here to create as much unity as possible. So we're not giving up.
Yeah, awesome. All right, guys. Peace out.
Yeah, Dave.
Later, Dave. Appreciate you, man.
How do I get out?
Oh, one last thing. Well, sometimes, like when I'm trying to communicate with someone I may have a little friction with, I like to utilize voice notes. It gives a way where I can get my full thought out, and it's very difficult to like interrupt, and maybe it's another way to be effective when communicating. So just keep that in mind, man, as y'all work through y'all thing.
Okay.
Take it easy, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Thanks. See you. How do I get out of here? Leave.
I'll drive you. Use gravity.
I'll use gravity. There's a gravity button. See ya.
Hey, man, I'm gonna step away real quick just to get a little super fluid. Y'all can keep it rocking.
All right, bro.
I just actually woke up and I was like, oh, let me go see if Flat Earth Friday is still happening. So I'm glad you guys are still here. It's Stationary Saturday now. And did I miss some important thing, Brian? Proud? I don't know.